Okay, so the point of this assignment is to practice making different formulas and naming those formulas of the ionic compounds when you have one cation bond with another anion. So in class, we had stacks of negative ions, different negative ions, and we had stacks of different positive ions. And what you had to do was randomly, you had to put them together and figure out how many of each you needed to cancel out, and therefore what was the formula and what was the name of each of these, okay? So for example, let's say you randomly pulled aluminum and sulfur, right? On your chart here, you would write down aluminum, which has a 3+ charge, boom, boom, boom. You would write down sulfur, which has a -2 charge, minus, minus. And you would say, okay, how many each of these do I need in order to cancel out? So you would say, okay, a little trick here is whatever charges you have the least of, add another one of that ion so that until everything is canceled out. So we only have 2 negative charges and 3 positive charges, so we need more negatives. So we have to add a whole nother sulfur. And now we have 4 negative charges and 3 positives, so we need more positives, so we got to add another aluminum. All right, and now we have 6 positive charges and 4 negatives, so now we need more negatives, so we got to add another sulfur. And now we have -6 and +6 charges, so now all of our charges cancel out, so we're done. Now we know that this is the molecule we need to write. So how many aluminums did it take us to get stable, or to get everything canceled out? We have 2 aluminums, so we're going to put the number 2 here. How many of the anions did we need? Well, we need 1, 2, 3. We had 3 of the anions, so we're going to write down a 3. All right, cation is just anything with a positive charge, any ion with a positive charge. Anion is any ion with a negative charge. So this is telling us how many of the aluminums do we have, how many of the anions do we have. Now we're ready to write our formula. Since we had 2 aluminums and 3 sulfurs, we're going to write 2 for the aluminums, and then we're going to write our 3 sulfurs. And that is our formula. Make sure you write the capital letters clearly, that they are capital, and the lowercase letters clearly that they're lowercase. Make sure your subscripts are very clearly written and small and below the other letters and numbers. For the name, remember we are changing our name in our notes. We changed the name of the ion, the negative ion, to ending in IDE, so aluminum sulfide. And this is a list of the anions, how they are turned into ending in IDE, of the ones that are tricky. The rest of them are pretty simple. You just turn the N to a D. So like iodine becomes iodide, chlorine becomes chloride, right? Pretty simple, straightforward. So this may help you screenshot this, keep this. So that is how you fill this out, and that is how you would do this assignment. Then you would put this back into our baggie, right? And you would get another one. So now you would do it with, let's say, bromine, right? So do aluminum with bromine, or you would pick another positive ion, you pick sodium and do sodium with bromine. So that's what we did in class. For you all who were absent, what you need to do is you need to randomly pick some cations, some of the positive charges, some of the ions with the positive charge, randomly pick some anions with a negative charge, and yes, you can redo some of the cations, you can reuse some of the anions, and then you're going to figure out what would the formulas be for those and what would the names of these be, okay? Because this is what you have to do for your quiz, so this is really good practice. Once you have filled this out, feel free to go on Google to double check your work to make sure that your formulas and your names are correct. But don't just look up the formulas without having done it first, because that's not going to help you. Good luck.